Hello, and welcome back to an all new episode of Faux Real. I'm your host, Devlin Wilder. It's been a long, long time. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I hope you all had a pleasant, wonderful, warm, enjoyable Easter. I'm actually recording this on Easter Day. It's the middle of the afternoon. Don't mind my roommates in the background if you can hear them. There is unfortunately nothing I can do about that sound disturbance as the volume, they are actually recording their own show. I'm not sure what they're recording downstairs, but all of that volume travels right up the stairs, right through the vents, and unfortunately right into the background of this recording. So just bear with me as always. I started using Audacity to record my show. I was using Audition and it got way too expensive. Those, you can see me, you can't see me right now, but I'm shaking my fist at Adobe, who charges freaking $20 a month for a program that never has any sort of major updates, and it is absolutely not worth it. So I said, see ya, Adobe Audition, and I started using Audacity, and it's a crappy program, I gotta tell you. Anyway, let's get to the show. I have a really amazing guest. I have on the incredible comedian Jackie Kashian, and she's just lovely. She's just freaking hilarious and an absolute joy. We talked about all sorts of nerdy things and comedy and had a lot of good laughs together. I actually, she was referred to me by the incredible comedian Maria Bamford, who was doing a live show a few days ago, and I invited her to be on the podcast, and she very sweetly declined and suggested that I have Jackie on. And so we went live on the podcast Instagram. So I do apologize if the audio is a little shoddy in the actual interview. I have edited as well as I possibly could. Now, I hope, once again, this is a weird time for everybody, and we're all going through some things. So I really hope all of you out there are keeping busy with whatever you can do, and if you're not keeping busy, that's great too. Escapism is a lovely way to spend your quarantine time. I have been marathoning the crap out of all kinds of shows. I made it all the way through season 7 of Mom yesterday. Very proud of myself on that. And I also just got up to the most current episode of Devs, Devs, on Hulu. Guys, if you haven't seen this show, you have to check out this amazing program. It's got Nick Offerman, whom most of you know from Parks and Rec, and Alison Pill, most recently seen on Star Trek Picard. Brilliant, phenomenal job in that show. She is a stage-trained actress. She's done a lot of Broadway and off-Broadway shows, and she is just superb. Everyone in this show is absolutely amazing. Devs is a high-octane existential sci-fi drama, and that is a severe understatement to the brilliance of this show. You got to check it out. I don't want to say anything about the actual plot or arcs of the show. You just got to watch it. It's on Hulu. I think there are 8 episodes, and the season finale is coming up this Wednesday. You got to check it out. I would also like to do a few shameless plugs for myself. You can currently see me in episode 4 of the amazing docudrama series 100 Humans on Netflix. I take part in a segment on bias. Really incredible, amazing scientific show where they take 100 people and take them through varying scientific experiments. There are 3 hosts in the show: Allie Ward, Zanab Johnson, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting all 3 of their names. Oh boy. Well, anyway, the show is incredible. Check it out. It's now streaming on Netflix. I am also in a horror movie called By Day's End, which is streaming on a number of platforms, including Apple TV. You can get it on iTunes. It's on Google Play. And you can find it for most places for like a $3.99 download or whatever. And it's a trip. It's has a lesbian romance and zombies, and it's just it's a lot of horrific. If you like horror movies and you like zombies and you like apocalyptic kind of things, you will really enjoy it. So please check that out. I also took part in a Refinery 29 series called Fact or Fiction. The episode is about vaccines, and that is, you can watch that for free. It's up on YouTube. Check that out. And I am also, as of a couple days ago, in one of the most exciting projects that I have ever had the great pleasure of taking part in. Something that I am so proud of and so full of joy about that I can barely contain it in any of the adjectives that I would ever find. Guys, I am in the New York Times with my ultimate hero, Weird Al Yankovic. I am so excited. In January, there was a photo shoot with over 200 Weird Al fans, all dressed as Retro Al. We were all in Hawaiian shirts and aviator glasses. We all had mustaches. There was even a dog dressed appropriately and various babies. It was one of the coolest things I will ever take part in. And there are actually 2 articles. One article, the main article is by New York Times editor Sam Anderson, and the other one, oh goodness, I've forgotten the other editor's name, but there is a article that's all about all of us fans and the journeys that many of us made to come out to LA and be a part of the project. It's really, really cool. So both of those articles are online. Just do a little Google and you'll find it. And the physical print edition is also out as of today, Easter Sunday. It was supposed to be a cover story, the feature cover story, and it was planned for many months to be so. But of course, with all the weirdness, quote, italicized weirdness, that unfortunately didn't happen because the cover story needed, and as it should be, is about COVID-19 and the pandemic and the crisis and all of that. But it is a very, very cool set of articles. Please check that out. I am so proud and joyous to be a part of it. So, yeah. Also, not necessarily in partnership or sponsored by, but I want to give a huge, big old shout out to my friends Alexia Dox and Tanea and Simi Singh that are part of Overthinking with Kat and June. Ambulance break. Ignore that. Overthinking with Kat and June, the hilarious Awesomeness TV series, is now for free on YouTube. So definitely go check that out. It is, you will laugh yourself into many boxes of tissues. It is really incredible, so definitely check that out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me. I know it's been a really long time since I put out the last episode, and it might be a while until I put out the next one, but I really enjoy doing this for you, and please just stay subscribed and just keep practicing whatever you have to get through this quarantine. We have at least another month of hanging out, but it's keeping us safe. We're flattening that curve and keeping the virus at bay and doing as much as we can together to keep each other healthy. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get to my guest, the wonderful Jackie Kashian. Let's do it. On with the show.
Surviving the apocalypse, okay?
Sure. I think it's coming together. My survival skills. And
That's
yourself?
Good. Doing all right. I have plenty of these to last me the next. I stocked up. Well,
you got in early, ground floor.
That's right. About 15 years ago. Yeah. I'm a shameless professional germaphobe. I've been doing that for as long as I can remember. Listen, people are dirty. They just you're touching doorknobs and keypads and things, and it's all disgusting. And the thing for me too is that I have pretty severe asthma, so when I get sick, I get hyper sick, right?
You get really sick.
I'm sick for 2 weeks, and it obliterates me. So I have to make sure that I stay healthy.
Excellent. Yeah. No one else is going to make sure you stay healthy. It's got to be
right.
You. That's it.
So this is really exciting to have you on. Thank you so much for joining me. You are a highly decorated comedian. You've been on Conan. You've been working for 30 plus years. You've entertained the troops. You've got 2 amazing podcasts. One of them, The Dork Forest, has been going for 13 years. That's quite an accomplishment.
It is also the ground floor of something that nobody cared about. You got in on the ground floor of wipes. I got in the ground floor of podcasting back when people had iPods. I've decided to just call it casting now because nobody has any iPods. I have an iPod, but I mean, it barely works.
I do too. I think it's in storage somewhere.
Right. It doesn't even hold the charge anymore. On purpose, no. I believe by design.
Oh, poor little guy.
Yeah.
That's so. You started the Dork Forest in
2006.
Yeah, 2006 in your house, right?
Yep. It's still in my house.
On Blog Talk Radio.
On Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, it was essentially just a conference call, and we've gone full circle because I'm back to doing sort of conference called Dork Forests. Like I've done 3 episodes and 4 episodes, one of which is I had to send the guy a USB stick so that he could put it on. And he was like, I don't have any USB sticks. And so I ordered him to drop ship from Amazon 5 USB sticks. He sent me all 5. I was like,
oh, wow.
No, man, keep the other 4 for other people who might need stuff because you have terrible internet service. In Silver Lake. I don't understand.
Oh boy. I'm so thrilled right now. Obviously to have you here and also to see your face in full HD, because Instagram, especially Instagram Live, loves to glitch out. Like even Miley Cyrus has been doing like a Instagram Live show, and
Sure.
I've been having so much fun watching the biggest names in the book just like glitch all out. I'm like, well, that makes me feel a lot better, if Miley Cyrus is having trouble.
You're never alone. It's true. But look, you can see the aging process really well. Because I decided no makeup.
That's so awesome. And you also have your show with Lori Kilmartin, the
Jackie and Laurie
show. Awesome. How long have you been doing that now?
That one's 4 years. It's time flies when you're not having fun. Kilmartin and I sit around for an hour each week, and we bitch and celebrate stand-up comedy, which has got some problems right now, obviously, because of the gathering of people. The gathering of people is hard, so it's hard to tell jokes. And Instagram Live is fine. It's lovely that you and I are talking, and then there seems to be, just GOMD is here.
Hey, GOMD.
But
you're down with GOMD? You don't
it's but the laughs, you can't really hear the laughs on Instagram or Twitch or any of those things because there's no live audience. YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Like I'm doing a show tomorrow on Facebook Live, but it's one I've done before, and it's sort of a dork forest, but I'm doing it for NASA, JPL, Caltech, where I, Jackie Kashian, who has a degree in political science, interview people who are scientists. So they say something scientific. There's 3 episodes out on Facebook Live. I think it's called Universe Unplugged. You can go to their Facebook page and you can see that. They're just half-hour interviews where I interview astrophysicists about actual science, and then I make a science fiction reference. Literally, I don't know anything about science. So I know that it's real and that I'm going to stay in my house because I don't want to catch a thing or give a thing to someone. But and that is science. But these people, they know why stuff works. So that's kind of exciting. But I'm doing another one tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting. That's very fascinating. I definitely want to check that out. I've been delving into. I mean, we all have. We're all sitting on the edge of our seats, listening to everything all the scientists have to say right now, and there's so much misinformation out there, and it just makes me want to ram my head against a wall.
Yeah, not cool.
That's so amazing that you're doing that. There's another really amazing show that my friend Allie Ward does called Ologies, where she talks with she's very science minded and very she's a curious cat, so she talks with all of these ologists about all of the things, and she's spoken with volcanologists and
I think that's volcanoes, if I remember correctly. Volcanologist is a volcanologist. Okay.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
See? Yeah, I can be taught.
Smart.
Tomorrow we're discussing, the last episode was about the birth of stars and how young stars, and then this one is about the death of stars and how stars, when they go supernova.
Uh-huh.
And I'm planning on making some reference to super Skrulls and not being, and nobody getting it. Though they might get it, they're nerds. So.
Okay. There couldn't be a more perfect segue. Let's talk about Marvel. I see that you're a Marvel fan.
Sure.
You've so you're all about it. You've seen all 23 films.
I've seen all the movies. I'm devastated that Diamond is no longer going to be distributing comic books during this time. So I mean, I feel like it's a trick to get me to read them electronically, and to subscribe electronically. Which it's not the worst thing in the world. We have 10,000 comic books in this house. That's a lot of comics.
Wow.
That's kind of too many.
That's impressive.
Yep, it's a lot of comics. And then, so, looking forward to, it's too bad about Black Widow being delayed and Eternals being delayed. They genuinely, they want the money. They want the opening
Sure.
day weekend money. And they could just, it's not like we all don't have big TVs or aren't willing to watch stuff on our laptops.
Absolutely.
But, and think about the sales of projectors. So, for the
That's
youth
right.
who didn't invest in a
the big time
42-inch
money.
television.
Just
Yeah.
flipping those stacks, man. Flipping them.
Yeah.
I'd gladly shell out $20 to watch it online. As would all of us Marvel fans, I think. I don't think
I watched Onward yesterday, which they put out on Disney Plus for free, and I was like,
it's on free now? It's free
free.
now?
Yeah, on Disney Plus. You got to have a Disney Plus thing.
Well,
but I would have given them another $15 or $10 to see it.
Sure.
Or I would have said, no, I'll wait 3 months, and then they'll put it on Disney Plus. I would have had, either way, I would have done it, right? And with Marvel, easily, I would have given them the money that they would have wanted.
Absolutely. I don't think that's even a question, and I'm...
It's weird that they're not just releasing it.
And I am...
Maybe because they don't have more content? Like, they're not making any more of them until hundreds of people can gather to shoot movies.
Yeah.
Unless they make them all animated CGI.
Well,
they're already almost.
Well, they're doing the What If series, which is going to be pretty awesome. And
are they?
Have you seen the? They are, aren't they?
I don't know. I know that they were on the schedule. I don't know that they were shooting them.
I think What If so far is still on the schedule where it was. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Things are changing every moment, obviously, but
every moment.
I think it's where it was before. But the rest of Phase 4 is just all out of whack now.
Yeah, it's been pushed. Yeah. Oh well. But we have the first 23 movies. So.
We sure do. Yeah.
And you can always reread a comic book if they're well done.
Absolutely.
And it'd be great is if for a while it was out of print. My husband got the issues, right? The 7-issue run by Kyle Baker. It was essentially a origin of the super serum Captain America, and it was, I think it was called Truth, and it was essentially about how the super serum was tested first on black soldiers, like Tuskegee, right? I think it was Tuskegee. I'm getting it wrong. Anyway, and how everybody died, and one guy lived, and the black Captain America had to go save some people, so he put the costume on, and then it turns out there was racism. They were like, you can't wear that costume. We gotta go. And so he ended up having, aging also very slowly, but aging, and then. And his grandson is actually the Patriot in Marvel canon, who was in the Young Avengers for a while. And the Patriot didn't have any superpowers until until Kyle Baker wrote that, or I think he took like the mutant growth pills, the drug to simulate mutant growth superpowers, and became. So that story about the Patriot actually in Young Avengers and forming Young Avengers because of his grandfather is actually a really cool. I don't know who wrote that. That was a really great series too. But it'd be great. The Kyle Baker Truth thing about the Black Captain America is out of print. It was briefly back in print probably 10 years ago as a trade, and I bought a couple copies and gave him as gifts. But then it went out of print again, and you're like, well, maybe they'll reprint this stuff because people will buy trades.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I've never read that. I would love to read that.
Oh, it's such a great because what it is it's Steve Rogers finding out that there was these tests and that they created this Black Captain America, and essentially going to talk to him about it and going, what the hell happened? What was done? And so it's that sort of, and it created this amazing character. I forget the guy's name, the Patriots' grandfather. But it's worth seeking out.
Eluding me. I'm not sure. That's incredible, man.
But it's worth looking into. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm gonna research that as soon as we get done here. I'm gonna check that.
All right.
That's a whole day or two of rabbit holing.
Right, trying to find that. Yeah. There might be a BitTorrent, but Kyle Baker could probably use the money.
Maybe it's on LimeWire.
Yeah, LimeWire.
I remember LimeWire.
I remember LimeWire.
Oh,
it's back with my iPod.
That's right.
So,
my first Mariah Carey came from there.
Aw.
Man, that's so cool. I wish we had started talking earlier. We could have had all sorts of Marvel conversations.
Sure.
I had Eric Griffin on the show.
Yeah.
And it got ridiculous.
Was he more interesting? What happened? Was I supposed to do something wacky?
It got interesting once we ended up falling into a Marvel loop as well. But the poor guy, I had started recording at a new studio. I used to record at Nerdist upstairs in Meltdown, and of course Meltdown went away, and which made me so sad. I miss that. I miss being there. I miss everything about it. But
have you gone to Geeky Teas? You should go back.
Absolutely.
When this comes, it's as far as I'm concerned, it's the new Meltdown.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they run a good place over there. But I moved. So the Nerdist School studio, which was downstairs, moved next door into the Ruby, and so I moved my recording there. And he was one of the first guests that I had in the studio, and I hadn't quite figured out the coordination. And so I had confirmed the booking, I had confirmed the studio, but the engineer got caught in traffic. So meanwhile, I don't have a key to the place, so I'm standing outside. He shows up. I, as you, had never met him before, so we're trying to shoot the shit outside the studio, and I'm generally only funny by accident. So when I'm under pressure, it didn't
hit and miss.
It didn't work, and the poor guy, I was just and he was being as professional as possible, and he was trying to be
supportive,
but it was just super awkward. And he finally ended up going to a smoothie place across the street. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go get a smoothie.
Go get a smoothie. It's in cases like that, I remember that we did a Jackie and Laurie once where Laurie realized in the middle of the show that we were recording that she had a set over at Flappers. And so we jumped in the car and just recorded the rest of the episode on her phone.
Awesome.
And we just, we sat in the car and recorded it, and then she did a set, and then I picked up a set, so our lives were made complete.
There you go.
Again, each evening. So.
Way to just,
roll with the punches.
To pull it off. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes you really have to do that. And, I'm exceptionally still ever impressed that this is all working.
Right. What is that?
So you were also on At Midnight, which
sure, I did that a couple of times
with Chris Hardwick
and the Nerdist crew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love those guys.
Yeah. Did you see? I was going to ask you a question about because you like to touch base with something DC that you like. Mm-hmm. There's two things right now that I really like on DC. I liked what's her face, Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey.
Right.
10. She's 29. I think she's turning 30 this year.
Really?
And
Wow.
10 years ago, she was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And this year, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She produced Birds of Prey and Bombshell.
She has a boring life.
She is a monster. She is a beast of productivity. It's fantastic. It's admirable. And but I will say this: did you see Birds of Prey?
I haven't seen it yet. I know
it is so much better.
I know
than
it's
Secret
streaming
Six.
now. I'm gonna watch it. Maybe later today.
Is it not? It's not Secret Six. What was the other? Suicide Squad.
Right.
Because I wanted Suicide Squad to be Secret Six, because the Gail Simone Secret Six arc and through DC is fucking hilarious and outstanding. And Birds of Prey is dark and funny, and it has a different vibe than Suicide Squad. Just because I think it was pointed out to me that Suicide Squad was written and directed by dudes, and Birds of Prey was written and directed by women, and dudettes. I don't know, but the thing is the vibe is so different. It's not quite as sort of bitches, man. Bitches, you don't want to get on the wrong side of a bitch because she'll murder you. Instead, it's you really don't want to get on the wrong side of this crazy fucking human being because she will blow your shit up. And
right.
it makes it more human and less sexy, but it's still, I think, pretty sexy because these are all very good-looking people. And but that's my favorite DC thing right now in film. And then my favorite DC thing right now in writing is a Green Lantern story.
Oh.
And Far Sector. And it's essentially about it's all it is it's a comic book written by N.K. Jemisin, who won the Hugo the last 3 years. And it's essentially about a Green Lantern who's sent to the farthest sector to deal with a murder case. So it's like a detective Green Lantern story. It's really cool.
That's incredible.
It's called Far Sector.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. So I think she finished it too. I think I read the first 3, and there's 6 or 7, and I think I have the last 4 in print, which is awesome.
Wow, that is amazing. When did you start collecting?
I got into it when my husband started. I got it when we got married. I've always been dorky, right? But not necessarily comic book dorky. So that was a new dorkdom for me in 2003 when we started dating, and we started reading comic books, and then we moved in together, we got married, and comic books are great because they take 20 minutes to read, So you can read a couple of them and then go do something, or one, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And so like Lock and Key, I don't know if you ever read that. It's a horror.
I haven't. I know it's on Netflix now, right?
It was written by a guy named...
Have you seen it? Is it
I have not yet.
Okay.
Andy saw it. My husband saw the first season. He said that they really nailed it. And they took, because there's probably, I don't know if there's 75 issues of Lock and Key Joe Hill wrote, but they cherry picked it, much like the Marvel, the Marvel movies where they took sort of the best parts of different stories,
Creative
which I don't have a problem with. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that. I'm like, do whatever you need to do, make it cool.
Yeah. Netflix usually hits it out of the park pretty well.
I heard Lock and Key did very well. So but it's super scary, and I'm not good with scary movies, but I can do scary comic books. I can't do scary books. I can't do scary movies or TV shows, but I can do a scary comic book. Weirdly enough, I don't know why.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I definitely have to check it out because I love that stuff. I love dark, trippy, mind fuckery.
Okay.
I love all that stuff. I just finished watching, there's a show on Hulu called Devs with Nick Offerman, from Parks and Rec, and Allison Pill. Holy shit! It is the most mind fuckery you've ever seen. It's very Black Mirror, but it's super dramatic. and they have these incredible moments of intense pause where you get lost in the expression of the actor and they don't say anything sometimes for 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Just, well, not really.
Okay. I was like, that is a clock eater.
It's so intense and incredible, much like Black Mirror, and if you like that kind of stuff, I definitely give it 2 thumbs way up. It will.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Did you see Barry on HBO?
Yes, I'm behind. I
saw the first season.
Yeah, I got through the first season.
And I was like, I would rather be killed by Barry than to watch another season of this. It was so well done. It was well done. It scared the shit out of me. And I'm not saying it wasn't funny, too, because it was also really funny. But holy shit, it was terrifying.
Yeah, very dark.
Yeah. I'm like, this isn't going to work out. He's not going to become a better guy.
Nope. There we go. Had to have one technical glitch.
Yeah, I got a phone call. So I had to decline the phone call to come back.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be on, but we're doing this. So.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm having a blast, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, good. It was a friend of mine from high school. My last friend from high school.
Wow.
I was. I've met more of the people from high school and I didn't remember any of them. I literally just kept in touch with like 2 people, and I don't remember any of them. But they all. It turns out 100 years later, everybody's fine. Like most people have become, they're not the jackasses they were in high school, or super shy or super like weird. They're just normal people who've had lives 100 years later.
Who knew?
And they have social skills, or they don't, but they mean well,
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. I just had a reunion with a touring group that I traveled with over 20 years ago, and through the magic of Zoom, a lot of us haven't seen each other for 20 plus years, and was just absolutely incredible. Talk about the biggest smiles that you can imagine, or just hearing each other's voices and
getting to see their faces and stuff. That's what I really like about Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, really crazy.
It's great. So, yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I think I'm gonna end it here.
Cool.
Really.
Somebody also just texted me and said that they're playing me on one of my albums on Sirius XM's. They're doing for a month. They're doing only women comics on channel 105. So all my albums are free on Spotify and Pandora and Amazon, but now they're playing me on Sirius, which means residuals. So thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Sirius XM.
And on that note, I want to shout out your current album, right? I'm Not the Hero of the Story, which has been touted as the #1 comedy album on Amazon. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And you're really hitting it out of the park. And
cool. And if people go to my Instagram TV, there's a bunch of clips from the last 3,700 years of me doing stand-up comedy. So feel free to watch those if you like, if you're bored. And then but thanks for having me on, man. It's awesome.
Thank you for joining me. Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
Remember, you can follow me, as always, across all the places at Devlin Wilder. That's DEVLINWILDER. And Faux Real at Faux Real Pod. That's FAUXREALPOD. That's it for this one. See you on the next one.